Starting off with the LA Angels, I'm going to go with Zach Neto. He got off to a bit of a slow start this year, but has really come alive in the second half, has an OPS over 930 and over a 160 WRC plus during that time. He plays solid defense at shortstop, and he's not even 24 years old yet. I know times are tough for the Angels right now, but a young shortstop is someone you want to have in the fold for a long time. Moving on to the Houston Astros, I got Kyle Tucker. I know he's injured right now, but it actually kind of blows my mind that he hasn't gotten a contract extension up to this point, considering he's been one of the better hitters in baseball for a while now. I mean, go back to 2021, this guy's put up great numbers. He's averaged an 883 OPS while averaging 27 home runs per season. Not bad, if you ask me. Now, he's going to be a free agent after next season, so I think the Astros got to get moving here before it's too late. On to the Oakland A's, and I'll go a bit outside the box and say they should sign their first round pick from this year, Nick Kurtz. I know, he was just drafted, so it doesn't have to be right now, but personally, I think this guy is going to be really special considering he had over a 500 on-base percentage and just mashed at Wake Forest. He's also hitting pretty well so far in a very small sample size, 29 ABs, a 1.495 OPS, also plays good defense at first base. Like I said, though, doesn't have to be right now, but we've seen guys in the past get contract extensions with minimal service time or even no service time at all. I think with the A's moving to Las Vegas in the next few years, I say get this guy signed up so he could be a cornerstone of your franchise for years to come. For the Toronto Blue Jays, I say they should sign Vlad Jr. to a long-term extension. At one point, it looked like Vlad's time could be running out in Toronto. He was all over the rumor mill before the trade deadline, but this year, he's gotten back to his old self. He's hitting over 300, an OPS right around 950, 26 home runs as of right now. He's already expressed a desire to stay in Toronto long-term, so I say they should come together, get something worked out, since Toronto's plans are to compete over the next few seasons. For the Atlanta Braves, I'll go with Max Fried. Alex Anthopoulos is the king of contract extensions. He's already signed close to 10 players to contract extensions already. Good grief. But Max Fried, he is a free agent after this season, but it would be nice to see Atlanta keep him around because, one, he is pitching pretty well this year, and two, he can continue to be an anchor in the rotation over the next few seasons as they get some more of their young pitchers come up the pipe. For the Brewers, I'll go with Bryce Terang. A part of me wants to go with William Contreras here, but if I were to go with just one, I'd lean towards Terang because he can be the Brewers' long-term shortstop if Willy Adames ends up leaving, and the Brewers do have a young catcher in their system by the name of Jefferson Cuero. With Terang, though, he's shown a lot of improvement this year at the plate while playing good defense at second base and also providing a lot of speed. This guy's stealing bags left and right, but he's also under 25 still, so I think he would be a good candidate for a long-term deal. On to the Cardinals, and I'll go with Mason Wynn. If you asked me this last year, I probably would have said Jordan Walker, but he's struggled this year while Mason Wynn has been solid. So far, he ranks in the top 10 among all shortstops in Fangraph wins above replacement, and he's only 22 years old, for crying out loud. He's definitely a guy you want to build around for the long term. For the Cubs, I'll go with Pete Crow Armstrong. Now, offensively, he's still figuring things out, but he has been hitting a little better over the last couple of months, and I think he's going to keep improving, and he's playing tremendous defense in center field at only 22 years old, for crying out loud. I say, wait a little longer, see if you can get that bat fully going, but the potential is there for him to be a star center fielder. For the Diamondbacks, I'll go with Gabriel Moreno. Now, he is hurt right now, but he's only 24 years old, has already improved with the bat a lot this year, and is one of the best defensive catchers in the game. Get this guy signed up. On to the Dodgers, and I'll go with Gavin Stone. He's broken out in a big way in his rookie season, posting a 3.44 ERA and a 3.88 FIP. I say buy out those 5 remaining arbitration years and at least 1 or 2 of his free agent years so he can be a mainstay in the rotation for the long haul. For the Giants, I'll go with Kyle Harrison. Like Gavin Stone with the Dodgers, Harrison has also broken out in his rookie season, striking out 8 batters per 9 with under 3 walks per 9 and an ERA right at 4, FIP at a 4.24 at only 23 years old. Let's get this guy signed up. For the Guardians, I'll go with Stephen Kwan. Now, he is a bit older than a lot of the guys on this list at just about 27 years old, but this is a guy I could see being solid going into his 30s, kind of like Michael Brantley a little bit. This year, he's been really good, hitting 313, a 375 on base, a 462 slugging, a 140 WRC plus. Already has a career high in home runs with 13. Now, he's got 3 years of arbitration left, so I think Cleveland, who like to save a dime here and there, I say they buy out those remaining arbitration years, give him a 6 or 7 year deal, keep this guy in the fold for the long haul. For the Mariners, I'll go with George Kirby and Logan Gilbert. I know I'm cheating a little bit here, but to me, these guys should be signed up to be the anchors of the rotation for years to come. Gilbert has 3 more years of arbitration this season, while Kirby, he's got 4 more years. So I say buy out those years along with a couple of years of free agency and see if these two can help get you to a World Series. For the Marlins, I'll go with Thomas White. Now, there isn't really a clear-cut candidate as the Marlins are going through yet another rebuild, but you got some younger position players like Connor Norby, Agustin Ramirez, Davison De Los Santos that they just got back before the trade deadline this year. One of those 3 could emerge, but out of all of their top prospects, I think Thomas White is going to be a sure thing. He's got good velo, great stuff. He's putting up good numbers in the minor leagues this year at only 19 years old. Obviously, I wouldn't do this right now. Maybe in a few years after he pitches in the majors for a bit, but I say get that checkbook ready. For the Mets, I'll go with Francisco Alvarez. This one was kind of easy, but hey, it's a no-brainer. Sure, he has missed time this year, but he's a star catcher in the making. He's shown improvements at the plate this season despite some injuries, but most of all, he's only 22 years old, for crying out loud. For the Nationals, I'll go with James Wood. Now, part of me wants to go with Dylan Cruz here, the number 3 prospect in all of baseball, but since Wood is already up with the Nationals, posting great numbers through 43 games so far at only 21 years old, I say get this guy signed up to a long-term contract, something like a 10, 11, maybe 12-year deal. That way, you buy out his arbitration years and you have him comfortably through his prime. On to the Orioles, and I got Gunnar Henderson. Yeah, this one's easy. He ranks 4th overall in Fangraph wins above replacement, only behind Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. This guy is having a fantastic year. He's hitting 287, a 375 on base, a 558 slugging, a 163 WRC plus, 33 home runs already. He's only 23 years old, for crying out loud. Yeah, this one's a no-brainer. Give this guy a blank check. For the Padres, I'll go with Jackson Merrill, and I'll be honest, I didn't have Jackson Merrill putting up better numbers than Fernando Tatis Jr. on my scorecard this year, but here we are. This guy is having a great year. He's hitting 289, a 320 on base, a 484 slugging, a 125 WRC plus. Great defense out in center field like James Wood. Give this guy a 10, 11, 12-year deal. Buy out those arbitration years. Have him through his prime. This one is also a no-brainer. For the Phillies, I'll go with Ranger Suarez. I've gone with a lot of younger players on this list, but Suarez, to me, who is 28 years old, he's not exactly old, but he's not young either, should be extended for at least a few years. He's been solid this year. He's got an ERA at 2.87, a FIP at 3.00, just under 9 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9, under a home run per 9. He's been an anchor in the rotation this year behind Wheeler and Nola. He's been great. Now, while the Phillies are in this championship contending window for the next few years, I say get this guy signed up before he becomes a free agent after next year. On to the Pirates, and I'll go with Paul Skeens. I mean, what else is there to say? He's been amazing this year. ERA at a 2.30, FIP at a 2.90, 11 strikeouts per 9 over 16 starts. But that's not the only reason I think they should sign him long-term, though. I say sign him to an extension so they avoid having to trade him like they did with Garrett Cole years back. For the Rangers, I'll go with Wyatt Langford, and I'll admit, I thought Langford was going to be a beast this year. Instead, he's had to go through a bit of a learning curve. There are some positives, though. If we see here on StatCast, he ranks well when it comes to bat speed, chase percentage, whiff percentage ranks pretty good. Now, with Langford, because of the underwhelming numbers this year, I do think they should wait a little bit, but I think eventually he's going to figure it out. On to the Rays, and I'll go with the number 2 prospect in baseball, Junior Caminero. And I know people are going to bring up the Wander Franco extension here and how terrible that's gone. However, with Caminero, I'm going to bank on the fact that he's not doing anything stupid off the field. As for on the field, this guy is going to be special. He's got stupid power to all fields, but he's also improved his plate discipline a lot in the last year. I say they take the same approach that the Brewers did with Jackson Chourio. Get this guy signed up long term. For my Red Sox, I'll go with Marcelo Meyer. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Tristan Casas here, especially since he's been up with the Red Sox for a bit now, and Meyer has obviously not played one game with the Red Sox. However, if I could only pick one, I'd rather save that money for this guy. Now, Casas has shown to be a good hitter, and I think he's going to be very valuable for the next few years, but shortstop is a higher value position. Meyer not only plays good defense, but also has a balanced bat, good approach at the plate, makes a lot of hard contact. I think he's going to be the next best shortstop in Boston. For the Reds, I'll go with Elly De La Cruz, and I mean, who else should this be? He's on track to hit 25 home runs, steal 70 bags while playing great defense at shortstop at only 22 years old. Give this guy the bag. On to the Rockies, and I'll go with catcher Drew Romo. He was just called up after they released Elias Diaz, but there's a lot of potential here with Romo. He's viewed as a great defender behind the plate, and the bat has come alive at AAA this year, hitting .297 with an .838 OPS. He does need to improve on working the counts more, drawing a few more walks, but at only 22 years old, I expect him to improve a lot over the next couple of years. For the Royals, I'm going to go with Cole Reagans, and this one's a no-brainer to me. He's the ace of your staff at only 26 years old. He's putting up great numbers this year through 26 starts, an ERA of 3.31, a FIP of 2.99, just under 11 strikeouts per nine, right around 3 walks per nine, under a home run per nine. But like I said, he's only 26 years old. I say buy out the arbitration years, buy out a couple of the free agent years as well. Keep this guy atop of your rotation for years to come. On to the Tigers, and I got Riley Green. He's only 23 years old, and he's already showing he could be a star in the game. He has missed some time over the last couple of years because of injuries, but when he's healthy, he's been putting up great numbers. And this year, over 103 games, he's hitting .259, a .350 on base, a .475 slugging, a .131 WRC plus. So I say buy out the arbitration years, sign him to a 6 or 7 year deal. That way you can keep him in the fold during his prime years. For the Twins, I'll go with Royce Lewis. Now, I know your first reaction might be, why would the Twins give this guy an extension? He's always injured. Well, that's not wrong, but when his body's right, this guy's one of the better players out there. In his career up to this point, he's hit .292 with a .355 on base, a .567 slugging. He has a 162 game average of 44 home runs per season. That is just mind-boggling. Another thing, too, is Byron Buxton got the bag, and he hasn't played more than 100 games since 2017. Royce Lewis has also expressed an interest in staying with the Twins, so I say when the Twins get their TV revenue and the financial situation going on right there, I say get this guy signed up. On to the White Sox, and to be honest, there's no clear candidate, but I say in the next few years, get their top pitching prospect, the number 15 prospect on an MLB pipeline, Noah Schultz, signed up. There's a lot to be excited about with Schultz. He's already getting comparisons to Randy Johnson for crying out loud because of his size, velocity, has a nasty slider, and he's only 21 years old. I say explore an extension so you avoid having to trade him, similar to what happened with Garrett Crochet this year, and you'll have him signed up during his prime years when hopefully the White Sox are competitive again. And last but not least, for the Yankees, I got Jason Dominguez. And to be honest, the easy answer here is Juan Soto, but since he's going to test free agency, I'll go with Jason Dominguez. And remember, not too long ago, there was so much hype for the Martian, but he got off to that slow start in the minor leagues, and people were thinking, oh no, here comes a bust. However, last year, something turned on. He got red hot, came up to the major leagues, and he homered off Justin freaking Verlander in his first at-bat. Right then and there, you should have handed this guy a blank check. Now, he is just coming back from elbow surgery, but nonetheless, this guy, he's going to be a star, a 5-tool player. Last year, in a small sample size, he hit .258 with a .677 slugging, 4 home runs, and he's been great while he's been rehabbing. So far in the minor leagues this year, hitting .314, a .378 on base, an .865 OPS overall, 7 home runs. This guy is going to be an absolute star. But everyone, that's my list. Tell me what you think down below. Which players do you think should get a contract extension? Let me know what you think. Let me know down below in the comments. But everyone, that's all I got for right now. If you can on the way out, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.